Bam, we're live. Welcome to day 52 of the AI Prompt Challenge. Appreciate all of you that have been tagging along. We're going to get right to it. It's a Saturday here. Don't know when you're going to view it, obviously. Let me share my screen. All right. As always, feel free to reach out in the chat or message me directly. Go to Remodelers Helping Remodelers on the Facebook page. All right. So it's called Remodelers Helping Remodelers, and you can join in there. That's the free group, and we're active there. Again, we have the also private groups that you can be a part of where you'll get more, how do I say, it's more specialized. You just go faster, farther. But the free group's the best place to start. So for those of you that have been following along, you should at least join Remodelers Helping Remodelers. All right. So as you know, what started as the 30-day AI prompt challenge has now just become a daily thing for the most part. I'm working on something called the Remodelers Rulebook, and it's like it'll be 100 days of what to do for your remodeling business. That will probably start on Monday. Put the finishing touches on that tomorrow. And so that'll be good. You'll have 100 days of direction. All right, so let's get into it. Tonight, we're just going to go right with the Google Sheet. And this is usually my process. I usually put things in Google Sheet first, work on them there, edit them, and then I'll move them over into that booklet. But the booklet's been, like I said, challenging. And so today, to keep it simple and for time constraints. So here's the thing. Right now, the sentiment for many folks is those that don't have business systems are struggling. Those that don't have business acumen are struggling. Those that don't understand what it's really like to have, if you're not a veteran in the business world, it's a tough marketplace. And for some of you, I feel for you, because here's what happened. And some of you guys, it just happened to be that time in your life where things lined up. You had enough confidence. You maybe saved up some money because you'd been working for a few years. The economy was good. And you went and you said, I'm going to launch my remodeling or contracting business. And you happened to do it during COVID, right? If you did it in the last like 5 years, let's say 3 to 5 years, you came in at prime time. Anybody with a hammer and a pulse could make money. Right. And many of you are like, oh, I'm great at business. I know how to do this. Look at me. My business is growing. I can't even get to all the customers. Right. And then what you learned was, wow, we really weren't charging enough. We really don't have any organization or skill. Our jobs aren't that organized, so they're not that profitable. I'm burnt out. I'm not working all the time. Yeah, I have a social media account, and yeah, I have followers on Instagram, and it's glamorous, but it doesn't produce results that are worthwhile. Like, yeah, I can get leads, but then my leads aren't great. It doesn't bring me the right clients, right? And then I complain about my customers because I say they're this, they're that, right? And believe me, so this happens to everyone in business, right? Like, I will place an ad and I will draw in some clients, and they may be the right ones. They may not be. Um, People that are the right ones are the ones that have the mindset to say, yeah, I want to kick this problem and I want to be done with it. And there's a ton of people out there that are struggling and they just want like the quick little fix. Oh, just tell me what to do here. Right. And it's usually not that. It's usually your business needs like 3 to 4 things. So, but anyhow, so if you're not getting the right people, you're not marketing, the right message, the whole thing starts to unwind. And again, it's because you happen to come into the industry at a good time where anyone could make money. And now you're recognizing the reality of the situation, which is this is a challenging industry. And if you want to stick and stay around and be profitable and have a life, you need business skills. You need the back end. You need business acumen. You have to understand you have to even do a marketing plan. Do you understand one? Have you done one? Do you have a business plan? Right? Just putting ads, you're just chasing your tail. All right. So with that said, here is a way that you can rebound, right? So this is like a primer. It was a little bit of a rough draft I wanted to run out there, because that's what's coming up in the next 90 days will be more in depth. But basically, you need to do a little bit of what we call a reset. And this is your comeback plan. You're going to go from broke to booked, and it's the Remodeling Academy way. So here you are. If you're still using just your phone, right? And you're bouncing from fire to fire. Basically, most of you are expert firefighters because you don't quite understand yet that you're causing your own problems. So you just have to keep squashing them. And every time you line up a few more jobs, you line up a few more problems. You hire a few more people, you scale up a few more problems because you haven't quite understood that we need to put system in place to stop that, to squash that. Okay. So here's the deal. Contractors that scale profitably are the ones who aren't burnt out, broke, or chasing the bad clients, right? And they aren't really working harder. They're just building repeatable, profitable systems that run regardless of whether they're in the office, job site, or vacation. I'm going to stand up. So give me a second here, folks. I have a bar stool. Let me just raise this a couple notches. So here's the prompt you're going to put into chat. You're going to say, hey there, chat. I am this type of a contractor. This is where I'm at. I want a 90-day comeback plan, and I want to go from broke to book, base it on the Remodeling Academy principles. The plan should include a clear business model, the ideal client identification, the first 3 systems, right? From financial, sales, marketing, design, production, a strategy to charge for design. That's our goal here. If you're not doing this, we're going to get you to start charging some sort of a fee to go out. The reason you do that is that eliminates the wrong clients, the cheap ones, the price shoppers, and it sets you up for the right foot. So now that when you do sell, you're selling to the ideal client, and it just perpetuates because then that client refers you, and when a cheap client refers you, they refer you to another cheap person, and then that's not the cycle you want. So it all starts with getting yourself to somewhere where you charge some sort of a design fee, a trip fee, whatever. And then you're going to unify the design build process into a seamless system, client facing process, and you have some weekly action steps. So the core principles, business model clarity. So you want to define exactly how you do your business, what's your pricing, your process, your ideal client. You got to write all this out. So you can do the talk to text feature. That might be easier for some of you, but you should have a document that has all this. You're going to stop being another free estimate guy. You're in charge for design, and this funds better systems. You're going to look at your 8 critical systems that every remodeler needs. So we have things like you're going to look at your finances, your sales, your marketing, your design process, right? And you remove what's called mutual mystification so that expectations match reality. That's something you should look into a little bit more. I'm not going to touch on it tonight because I want to keep this one short. Production, you're going to standardize workflows. Okay, you need SOPs. So if you have a production manager or somebody that manages your people, everything should be documented. So whoever is in your company doing any job, they should be able to take off for 2 weeks. Someone else should be able to grab the SOPs and run with it. Okay. Design build is our unified system, right? So it's not the designer versus the builder. We're bringing one team, one responsibility. So some of you might take that too literal. Here's what I'm not saying that you have to become the expert designer. I'm saying you bring design in house. It becomes part of your process. So for me, I'm not a designer, but I found a designer, and that designer basically was my designer when I would meet with the homeowners and I'd say, hey, we want to do a design for you, and I'm going to bring our person out. They're going to meet with you as well, and we're going to come up with a plan. And once we have that plan designed, this is why it's called a design build. We do the design first, then we give you the price for what it's going to cost to build. Okay. And that person works with you. You control the process. You set it all up. You coordinate it, but they don't have to be your direct employee. So clients pay more for the single point accountability and keep more profit. Long-term strategic planning. Don't think year to year. For this, we're going to start planning for a few years out, right? We're going to set this up so it's something that you can sell or step away. Some of you are in that place right now where you might be better off selling your business or stepping away because it's already starting to go on a downward trajectory. And if you start to have multiple years of it going down because you're not the operator, a lot of you are just not operators. And if you don't find an operator, what ends up happening is when people see a downward trajectory, your business becomes worthless. So then you spend all these years working this hard, but sometimes you have to recognize where you're at. And there's some of you out there that we've talked about this, and it's a tough spot to be in, right? Because for one reason or another, you're just not willing to make the change. That's the way it is. So while this works, you get predictable cash flow, you reduce your burnout, and differentiation. Most contractors, so many that I know, do not understand how to coordinate the design build process. And it's a limiting factor. And then they just become one little cog in the wheel. And when you do that, you become more of the commodity. And that's why you get price checked and price shopped, because you're not offering the whole value service, right? Like in simple terms, if when you buy the iPhone, you're getting the whole package. Now imagine if I was the guy out there and I just sold like the back bezel on the iPhone and I was trying to sell it to people, right? Yeah, it's specialized, it's niche, but you want to sell the whole package. Okay. So if you're the only system in your business, you don't own a company, you own a job. Let that sink in. So here's how you start this week. Pick one system to document. Maybe it's your sales script process, your estimating process. Maybe it's how you onboard a new client, your checklist that you go through. Pick something. All right. And then let's get that documented and put in an SOP. We're going to implement paid design agreements. Reach out to us here if that's something that you need. We have templates for you, but you need to have a certain type of a document that you use for that. And then use the opinion of probable cost. So I'll let you marinate on that one for a minute. Automate wherever possible. Use AI, templates, and checklists. Save hours. So the remodelers who are going to thrive in the next few years, they're not necessarily going to be the best craftsmen. They're going to be the best business owners. All right, guys. So that's tonight's episode. Wish you well. It's a lot to unpack here just because I went through it fast. Hopefully, again, you take screenshots as I scroll down. Boom, boom, boom. And that way you can work on it at your own pace. Have a great one. Thanks for being here. 52 days of AI, one lesson at a time. Take care.